What's what's up, everyone? Uh, it's me again, and what I'm going to talk about today is Claymore. And Claymore is an anime that came out in 2007. I saw it in 2016, and I really pretty much enjoyed it. It was a good anime. I give it a 7.9 out of 10. It's really good. I really pretty much enjoyed it, and I saw it like 3 times, or I saw it 3 times. That's how good it is. It's a good dark fantasy, and and uh, and I'm going to get right to it. It starts off in episode 1 where there was this village, and there's this mysterious stuff going on in this village, and they were talking about a claymore. A claymore is a party organization. They go out and kill Yoma and stuff like that, and they mostly travel on foot and stuff, and they don't go and don't eat for like a week or two. Actually, for like a week. And this Claymore goes to this town, and her name is Claire. She goes to this town, and then we meet Rocky, and she almost sliced Rocky's head off, and Rocky just continued to walk with her. Later on in the episode, I think later on in the episode, basically what happens is he comes back and goes to his home, and he found out that his uncle or someone died, and there was blood everywhere. And then it turned out, and his brother turned out to be a Yoma because what happened was the Yoma killed his older brother and took his appearance, and Claire shows up and kills the Yoma. And basically, I'm gonna tell you about the Yoma, what the Yoma is right now. The Yoma are basically monsters that feed on human flesh and kills people. That's all they do. And their blood is pretty much purple. And I'll talk about the awakened beings late later in the video. I'm going to get you. I'm going to talk about them to say what they are. Anyways, and after Claire kills the Yoma, she leaves the town, and Rocky wanted to go with her, so the Rocky followed her, and she started to get pissed that saying Rock he should like he's saying that you should stay here and don't go. That's all she says. And Rocky wanted to go because he had nothing to live for. He can't go back to his old life because no one cared about him. Then then episode then at the end of episode 1, Claire allowed Rocky to go with her on their adventures. Episode 2 came. It was a really good episode. And what happened in that episode is Claire fights this Yoma, which turned out to be a used to be a Claymore. Basically, basically, when a Claymore like use too much of their powers, they turn into a Yoma because they have half they're half Yoma because they're half Yoma and half human, basically. So they have to like use a little of their power. If they use it too much, they turn to a Yoma. And and Claire bows this Yoma. Bows this Yoma used to be a Claymore, and she kills it. And she gave the 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 Yoma that was once a Claymore a memorial. Then episode episode 3 comes along. They were like in this huge town, and they had rumors going around the town that there was a Yoma in Cathedral and stuff like that, and no claymores are allowed in in that huge town because they don't like claymores. All they see them as silver-eyed witches. That's what they call them throughout the show anyway. Because a lot of people don't like the claymores. They don't like them. They just see them as like monsters. That's all they see them. And and then they're at the cathedral. They're trying to find the Yoma. They checked everybody. Then soon later after that, the Yoma comes out, like kills everyone. She Claire bows it, stuff like that, and that's about it. Episode 4 comes around. They're still at the cathedral in this huge town, and they're still trying to find it because it goes away and disappears and stuff like that. And 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 they found out. They found actually Rocky was outside the cathedral. If Yoma that was shapeshifted into this dead body, then Claire shows up and bows to Yoma, and then it was my connection. My projection was trying to go out again. I don't want it to go out. I just want to do this video. I don't want to redo the video again because it's just too much for me. And tonight, and I was supposed to look at anime around this hour, but before I get off topic, I'm going back. Anyways, Claire kills the Yoma, but she used too much of her power and she almost turned into a Yoma. And and she was trying to control her powers and stuff like that to attain them. Then she heard was Rocky's words saying that you have something to live for, and she would stay with her power, and she didn't turn to a Yoma. And here's episode 5. Episode 5 takes place like long time ago. It was like a backstory. After like 3 episodes, it was basically from 3 episodes, like episode 5 to 8, it's just a backstory episode of Claire's life before she turned into a Claymore. And in this time, there was this Claymore named Teresa, and they called her the number of the faint smile. She's number 1 in her class, and she goes to town, kills Yoma and stuff like that. And she went to this one town, there was Yoma, and then she kills the other Yoma. Killed like 3 Yoma, but the other Yoma was behind this young girl, which turned out to be Claire. And she kills the Yoma. Then after that they She talked to the people in the town. Then like Claire went up to her. Then she wouldn't like go over or anything. So Teresa just punched her, like punch her and stuff like that. Then Claire went up to her again, and she didn't, and 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 she was just saying she didn't do this to she didn't do this to save her family. She was just doing her job just to kill the Yoma. And she kept saying it every time because Claire kept going up to her and try to hug her and stuff like that. And she just punches her and she fell on the ground. Like she basically just treated her like garbage and stuff like that. Then she left the town. Then Claire followed her, and then Teresa get more pissed off, and then she was about to cut Claire's head off because she just want her to just stop following her. And she said it again. I was just I was just doing my job, kill the Yoma. That was her orders. She was following her orders. She didn't do it to save her family. That's what she keeps saying. And then these people came. These like people came out of nowhere and got the girl. And then after that, she cut this other person's hand off. It was a guy, and he was screaming in pain. And the other people just ran away and him. Then after that, it cuts to the next scene. She was like, she was basically, and also to give you like another part about Claire. She can't talk. She couldn't talk when she was little. She was just silent. And anyways, back to the topic. Uh, Teresa, she was following Teresa to this like cliff, and she jumped. Teresa jumped down because she knew that she was being followed, and Claire like tried to walk down the cliff, and basically just knocked herself out. And all Teresa did was just treat her like garbage. I was just saying, let her just go with you. But she just treated her so bad. She just being abusive towards her. And then she comes back. She comes back for her. And and she takes her. She wakes up and takes her, and she told her to wash herself just to be clean. And after that, Teresa, like Claire hugged Teresa. Then they began their journey. Episode 6 came like she they were basically going to village to village and stuff like that, and the people were saying why the little girl was with her, stuff like that. uh, Anyways, they were like going to town. They were passing people, and and found out she would betray the organization. And I forgot to tell you about the organization. The organization is the ones who established Claymores to send them like to kill Yoma. and stuff like that. And there was this guy with the black hat. He's one of the people from the organization, and guy with the black hat sometimes appeared in the anime. It's not like I was thinking before. I was thinking he appeared like a few times in the anime, but it's sometimes, not few times. That was the time I realized when I realized my connection is out. I don't want my connection to be out. I can't do this again. And and they and the organization and she betrayed the organization because in the episode because because in the episode she killed humans. I don't understand how they found that out. It's not like they were around there at the time, or they can sense she was killing them, which kind of didn't make any sense or anything. So I really don't know how they found out. So they wanted to just behead her and kill her. So she battled the other Claymores, and got Claire back, and because they were holding her, so she walked her own way, and they were still gonna come after her. Anyways, episode 7 comes around. They went to this village, and in the village, damn, I've been going for like 17 minutes now. I I got at least 12 minutes or so. Uh, anyways, anyways, she went to this village, and she was like wanted to rent a hotel to stay there. Then these claymores came. These claymores came. These three claymores. Actually, these claymores, three claymores came, and the fourth one came. The fourth one was Priscilla. I forgot the other three names, but I know one of them had a pointy ears like an elf, and and but they treat the Priscilla like garbage, and and they found and they found like the girl that was in there. Then that episode then ended. Oh, that episode then it was a battle between Priscilla and Teresa, and uh they battled. Then the other three claymores came to battle her. It was just an epic battle. And episode came was like the like like the most shocking episode ever of Claymore, because it shocked me when I first time I watched it, because the scene I'm going to talk about was in my head for at least 2 days or so. It was in my head when the first time I watched it. Uh, and here and I'm going to talk about it soon. Well, I'm going to talk about like what's before that. Uh, they were like battling Teresa and stuff like that, and they can't beat her because she's number one, but they're trying to beat her. And then Priscilla tried to beat her, but she like traumatized in fear. She was on the ground like this, like I'm sitting now, except her legs was out, and she was about to cut off her head. but she didn't. She just spared her life. Then she walked away with Claire. Then the other claim this other one of the Claymores said, "Get up and stop whining and finish the job." Then she was in. Then Priscilla was quickly engulfed in rage. She kept saying, "Unforgivable, unforgivable, unforgivable," and she got up and went and walked and ran and got her sword and ran to kill her. And she was constantly like she was she was definitely using way too much of her power, but she did not care one bit if she cared used one of her power or not. And then she was like battling Teresa and stuff like that. Then the other three Claymores came came to her, came to the battle on the mountains. Actually, this place took place outside the town and in the mountains. And then uh, they watched her battle Teresa. Like her armor was like blowing up because she was using too much of her powers and stuff like that. Then she went to her Yoma side and she passed her limit. And then she told her to kill herself. But however, Teresa let her guard down, and she just should have just cut off her head with like then and there. But she waited for like 50 seconds or almost a minute or two. Then her arms were cut off. Then her head was cut off by Priscilla, and Claire was in shock. Then then she turned into this awakened being. One of them says she turned into this awakened being. And basically, what the awakened being is transcend Yoma, is separated from the human race. And they said like turning into a awakened being feels good. The power just feels good when you turn into it. I can't say what it really is like, what it really is like on here, or my video will probably get it age restricted if I did, because I constantly say it when I'm not doing my videos. But anyways, get to topic. She turns in this wagon being. She goes and kills the other Claymores pretty easily. She cut off one of them's hand, and she like slashes her, and she like pass out. She killed the other two. Then she was walking towards Claire, and what kept me to what kept me thinking about it for 2 days or so was when Teresa died. Basically, that was in my head for 2 days. Sorry I couldn't explain that 2 minutes ago or 4 minutes ago. I mean 2 minutes ago, because a lot of stuff was just in, coming in my head, and I couldn't like focus on it. And then Priscilla just fly away, and Claire Claire looked Claire looked at Teresa's body, and she just cried, and she wanted to become a Claymore. to revenge to get revenge for Priscilla, what she did. Episode 9, episode 9 pretty much was pretty good. Episode 10 was basically because let me get back to what I'm saying because something came into my head. Uh, what happened was he was a Claymore. First time I looked at it or something like that because I was thinking the awakened beings kind of were just born from one another. But in the fourth time I watched it, explained that there was male claymores, but they too wait, but they too, I mean, they used too much of their power and they turned into awakened being. And 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 then Claire went back to Rocky. Episode 12, they went to this village. Got to mention she didn't mind killing other claymores or turning into a awakened being. Uh, because she was basically there to like battle this other awakened being that was in the area. But eventually, the awakened being comes over there. It was like this creepy little girl, basically, and she turns in awakened being form. She takes form of a child, but she takes forms of a child, but turns into awakened being form, which all most of like the awakened beings do. They can take form of a person, but and to hide their true forms. Uh, dang, this video is long. Uh, I think I'll be here for 40 minutes. I guess. I think be here for 40 minutes. That's how long this is going to be. Hope, hopefully, I don't be here for 50 minutes. But I really think that's not going to happen one bit. I think I'll be here for 40 minutes because it's 29 minutes now. That's how I've been alive on here. Uh, and anyways, they Claire like Claire like battles the awakened being and Ophelia at the same time. Uh, but she really wanted Rocky just to have a little snack. Then Rocky grabs Claire and they run away to get away from the area. Ophelia battles the awake awakened being and kills her. And then she like she like stops in this forest, and then like she separates herself from Rocky, and Rocky didn't want to her to go and be by himself because he had nothing to live for. Then Claire kisses Rocky and tell him don't say that, and she was off. Then episode episode 13 in episode 13 she found this girl that was supposed to be killed by Priscilla a long time ago during Claire when she was younger, but she turned out she survived and like hide herself from the organization and wanted everyone to think she was dead. And she like had like one arm. Uh, then she trains Claire for a couple of days. Then Ophelia like went mad on her own. She basically said, "F you, F." She basically says, why I should care about a kid with an effing smile on his face. Why he why she gives a damn about that rotten son of a beat. That's what she said. And she said, F you. F you. Then uh she just went crazy. And she turned into a wakened being. And then later on the episode, uh Claire 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 like trained more and and now Ophelia. This girl with the pointy ears basically like cuts her own arm off and so Claire can reattach to her. So and Claire was saying what you were doing, why you're doing this. And she re- reattached. So she wanted her to have the arm to achieve that ability she been dying to have. Then she leaves. The girls with the pointy ears gets killed by this other Claymore. Then, like episode 13, she battles Ophelia in awakened being form in this lake, and that's about it. Episode 14 was pretty good. Episodes 15, I'm going episode 15, 16, 17. They were pretty good episodes. One of my favorite, probably my top one episodes of Claymore. One of the top ones episodes of Claymore. Episode 15 and 17. It was just a pretty epic episode. It's basically she goes to the mountain because one of the Claymores came back and she dies. And she goes to this mountain where this other awakened being is. And with this little girl, she took the form of this little girl. And actually, she don't take a form of it. Actually, she do takes the form of a little girl. And like they battle this awakened being called Dalf, and she and they like battle like for 2 episodes to take him down and stuff like that. It was pretty epic episode. Like new claymores were introduced, like Galatea was introduced, and Jean was introduced. And then the, and after that, episode 18 came around, and Claire was tired of following, letting Jean to follow her around, but she saved her life in a couple episodes ago, in episode 16, because she could turn her rest of her body was just awakened, but she still have a human mind. She was able to revert it. Then episode 18, there was basically battle the awakened beings in the mountains somewhere in the ice cold mountains, and it stayed there for like 4 episodes, and it went to this volcano place, volcano place for the other 2 episodes. Actually, it could have been there for at least five. Actually, they've been there for at least 5 episodes. So then they vowed this Silver Eye Lion, which is like one of one of the leaders of the awakened beings. And then after that, she went. After that, he was killed, and then Priscilla was came around, and but she was like a little girl. Then she remembered, and she like turned to her true form and battled Claire in this volcano area, and it was just a huge battle from episode 25 to 26 and stuff like that. And that was pretty much it. And to tell you guys, this is important. This is really important because I'm not going to do no more anime videos until June because my anime watch list uh, for April and May and March, they're full. They're pretty full, and I won't be able to look at those animes at all because there's just too many to look at. Because I look at I look at 5 animes per month, basically, and I can't look at like if if I look at the the sixth anime of the month on there per month on there, I won't be able to look at them because I'll be too much looking at the other animes instead of trying to finish them. It'll be too much for me. So I won't be able to look at. I won't do no more uh, anime videos on the shows I looked at until June, until the summertime. So so see, so that's about it. I'll see you in the next. I'll see you in the next video. And the next video after this will be uh will be another flashback, pretty much. So goodbye. Actually, before I go, subscribe to my channel post where I post travel videos, flashback story videos. I mean flashback videos of what happened like in 2015, and I post like, and that's about it.